Hey G fans, GojiFan93 here, and welcome to the next part of the King Kong-a-thon. In this video I will be reviewing King Kong, the 1976 remake. So first off, I kind of know that a lot of people, when it comes to this, I guess, second generation of King Kong, a lot of fans didn't really like it. I don't really know why people didn't really like these films. But me personally, I really enjoyed this remake. You know, everything about this film stayed, well, somewhat. There are a few differences which I will explain, but you know, the overarching story of King Kong is still in this remake. They go to the island, the girl gets captured, King Kong takes her, he saves her. Then they go to New York, they show him off, and then he breaks through, and then he, goes on top of a big tower, and the helicopters come and take him down. Actually, helicopters in this one, and I'll explain why. I'm not really going to go over the story because, like I just said, it's the same kind of story, but there are a few differences. When the movie starts, it's actually really interesting. So the main character, the main characters, I guess, the captain guy, he wants to go to this island, which is Skull Island, but they don't say that it's Skull Island, but he wants to go to this island to strike oil, instead of being the storyline of the original where the character wants to make a movie and he gets the girl Anne and he brings her in on the boat to go to this island. Where he doesn't even tell his crew, where he's going. But in this one, everyone knows where they're going. The whole crew knows that they're going to this island to strike oil. But they don't know that King Kong is there, they don't know the natives are there, they think that the whole island is uninhabited. And I actually really liked this. I liked how they kind of kept it, like, it was the same plot to get the boat to the island, but in a different way on how they would get there, or what their motivations were, and I really like that. The other difference is that a lot of the characters that were in the original are not really in this one. There are different characters' names. Jack, which is the main character, I would say he's the main character, or at least the main protagonist of this movie. Jack is his name, and I think Jack is, because Jack is also in the original, and he's also in the 2005 Peter Jackson remake, so I'm thinking that he might be the same character because he is the love interest to the female character. But the female character, her name's not Anne in this one. It's actually Dwan, I believe. And it was very interesting how they switched that up. So Anne's not in this one. It's Dwan who's the girl in this one. But what's interesting is that Dwan's character, she actually there was an SOS that was signaled to the boat that when they were going to the island. Apparently something, I don't exactly know the detail on what happened. I guess it exploded or something. And she was the only survivor, and so she's been on this lifeboat for who knows how long, and the boat ends up reaching to the main character's boat, and they grab her and they figure out what happened to her. So I really like how they got the girl in there, but it wasn't in the same way that the original did, where it's like, hey Anne, you want to come and do this movie with us? It's just like this girl on this other boat, which is interesting because she was still going to be in a movie, which I really liked how she was saying that, yeah, I was still going to be playing in a movie. So I like how they made that little connection there. I thought that was pretty clever. But pretty much when we get to the island, it's the same plot. The natives take Dwan, not Anne. They take Dwan and they get her all ready to be the sacrifice for King Kong. King Kong takes her. Then they all come and try to rescue her. The crew gets massacred except for Jack, and then they bring him back to New York. Now what's really funny is that the greedy character, I don't remember his name, but I guess I would say the antagonist of the movie, the rich businessman or whatever, he wants, and what's really cool is that he has a completely different character from what the other, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of the guy who wanted to make the movie in the original, but he's not as greedy as him, because at least in the original, the greedy guy kind of had a character arc where at the beginning he was greedy, but then at the end he kind of realized his mistake. In this one, this guy is he's just a complete asshole. He's just like, throughout the whole movie, you just want this guy to die, and he eventually gets it, and it's really awesome. But, the story is still kind of, it's still the same. They go, King Kong escapes, and everyone, runs around New York and King Kong's making destruction and all that. Instead of King Kong going on the Empire State Building, King Kong actually goes on the Twin Towers, which is really interesting. I really like that. And you know what? Don't start in the comments about, oh, he said the Twin. Look, guys, just forget it. This movie was made in the 70s. All right, so just shut up about all that conspiracy bullshit. All right, the towers were there. You can't erase history. So, anyways, King Kong goes onto the Twin Towers, and I really like that idea because it was just a change. It was a different thing. Also, another thing to note is that this movie does not take place in the 30s. I know that Peter Jackson's remake, he put that in the 30s. He made it more like the original. This one takes place in modern time, well, at least when the movie came out in the 70s, modern time. So that's why when helicopters come and attack, that's why I said helicopters at the beginning instead of the fighter planes, because those were like the 30s style, but now they used modern day like helicopters with guns and whatever. Anyways, I don't know how else to explain it. You guys know what I'm talking about. So, but yeah, and I really like this movie though. I really think this movie gets a bad rap for the people who say it's a bad remake. I think it did fine. I really did like the effects. This is I would say, well, not the first King Kong movie with suitimation, but I would say it's the first American King Kong movie with using suitimation, a guy in a suit, and also animatronics. The animatronics were really well done in this for the 70s. I mean, it was like a lot of close-up shots of King Kong's face, and you just like the expressions that King Kong gave in this one was just so great. I mean, like really awesome expressions. And also there were a lot of camera angles where Dwan was getting captured by King Kong's hand, and a lot of the camera angle would be like just kind of showing King Kong's on like his hand, like a little puppet hand kind of grabbing her. I mean, it was cool because it was like a life-size replica of what his hand is in the size of Dwan. So I really liked that. That must have been terrifying for the actress. I mean, like if I had to be in that situation where I was getting grabbed by a gigantic hand like that, I'd be freaking out. But so overall, I really did enjoy this movie. I loved King Kong in it. He didn't fight dinosaurs as much. He fought one gigantic snake. We all know that he did, in every movie he fights that. But there weren't any dinosaurs, which is really interesting. That was another change that this remake did compared to the other one. But yeah, I mean, overall, I really liked it. I think this movie gets a bad rap. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you do. It's not as classic as the original, of course, but I think it still holds its place as a really good King Kong movie. And yeah, and I really enjoyed it. So that's what I got for this movie. Thank you guys so much for watching, and stay tuned for the next one, which will be King Kong Lives. So I'll see you guys then. Stay big, G fans.